You're listening to Catholic Chicago on WNDZ 750 AM. Every Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., the Archdiocese of Chicago presents programming about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
Hello to everyone, and welcome to another broadcast of Diakonia, a call to service. Diakonia, of course, is the Greek word for service. It is also the root word for deacon. My name is Deacon Richard Hudzik, and I am privileged to serve the Archdiocese of Chicago as Vicar for Deacons. I also get to work and pray with the good people at Mary, Mother of Divine Grace in Westchester, Illinois, a fairly recently unified parish, Divine Providence and Divine Infant Jesus. And sitting across the table from me as the COVID restrictions gradually loosen up a bit, happy to have Deacon Dave Brensick physically in here with me. He is our Associate Director at the Diaconate Office and Deacon at Holy Guardian Angels, another unified entity, St. Louis de Marillac and St. Barbara, and those combined, at the same time as mine, about 18 months ago or something.
That's
like
about right,
that.
yes.
Okay, so welcome, and good to see you, Dave.
Good morning.
Okay, so this is a show the Archdiocese has graciously granted to the Office of the Diaconate, and it's dedicated to talking about the call to service, how that is not something exclusive to the deacons, but it is a calling for all of God's people. And the way we get at this topic of service is by bringing forth, not to pat ourselves in the back by any stretch of the imagination, but to bring forward deacons and deacons' wives and some of their activities around the Archdiocese so that we might invite you to come along with us and to participate with us as we endeavor to serve the Lord through the Word, at the altar, and through charity. And so we're inviting you to take on for size some of the things that we do. And so to help us today in this mission, we've invited guest Deacon Dan Coughlin, and he's going to talk today about today's topic, and that topic is about lay ecclesial movements. So we're going to hit the ground running. Deacon Dan Coughlin, are you there?
I am here. Thank you so much, Richard. Good to be with you, David, as well. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's good to be with you this morning.
Great.
Welcome, Dan.
Right. So let's just a word or two of introduction of who you are, year of ordination, where you live, parish of assignment, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So I'm relatively new to the diaconate. I was ordained on May 11th, 2019 by Cardinal Supich at Holy Name Cathedral back when we could all gather. And so I've reflected on that as I come up on my second year, feeling a lot of sympathy, compassion for all the separation. And I remember that day fondly, obviously, to receive the sacrament of holy orders with such a great group that was gathered today. I'm blessed to stay in touch with my cohort and wishing all the people in formation continued blessings as they navigate through this pandemic. So I am assigned to St. Joseph's Parish in Libertyville. We've been, with my wife Joanne, been members there, I guess coming up on 25 years. So a great community, blessed to have other deacons serving there, and that is where I'm at.
Okay.
So.
Good. So welcome again, Dan.
Thank you so much.
So what we're going to be talking about, generally speaking, is lay ecclesial movements.
Mm-hmm.
3 words. It's a mouthful. Let's tease that out if we could. What is a lay ecclesial movement? Why is it lay? Why is it ecclesial? And why is it a movement?
Yeah. So you've asked maybe the toughest question first.
Oh, we can save that for later if you like.
So
it's all downhill from here.
Yeah, right. Exactly. It'll get easier from here. So defining a lay ecclesial movement or a community is somewhat challenging because the reality is, by their nature, they're on the move, right? So they are dynamic groups that don't easily fit into any neat category. Basically, I'd say a lay ecclesial movement is a collective term for many volunteer groups and associations that have arisen in the church, mostly in the 20th century. And what they do is they offer the possibility of really going beyond the boundaries or broaden the horizon of the mission and ministry of the church. So the movements are a spiritual resource for the church, and by term and I would say definition, they are, I believe, an expression of the evolution of the church on the move, the continuation of the Spirit, the Holy Spirit at work with and through each and every one of us and in our lives. So they represent a variety of different charisms, and I think we'll get into that a little bit this morning. In terms of, they represent that in terms of understanding different ways that the Spirit moves and the method of formation. So I guess if we break it down, lay ecclesial movement. So the laity means members that gather of the church, those members that are just simply distinctly different from the clergy, but ecclesial, general enough to cover the wealth and forms that, produce the life creativity of the Spirit. So laity, those non-clergy that are gathering in the spirit of the church, and they're on the move. So they're linked to the charisms that are communicated in part through some charismatic leader or initiative that we can talk a little bit about. So each
All right, Dan, I'm going to jump in here. We got a signal. We're going to go to a break, and we'll be back, and we'll continue unpacking lay ecclesial movements.
Ecclesial ministries. Awesome.
Are you able? Are you able? For I have come not to be served, but to serve.
Members work every day to end poverty and homelessness. We do this on a one-to-one basis with anyone who asks for help. We also work with organizations who study these issues across our city, state, and nation. The Wilson Sheehan Lab for Economic Opportunities, or LEO, at the University of Notre Dame is one of these research centers. Through our partnership with LEO, Catholic Charities has gained valuable insights into scientific evaluation methods that determine the most effective interventions to help people avoid poverty and homelessness. Along with our experience and compassion, trusted research is helping Catholic Charities offer hope and so much more to anyone in need. For more information, visit CatholicCharities.net.
Hello, I'm Cardinal Blaise Supich. I got my COVID-19 vaccination, and you should too. It took just a few seconds and was painless. The Food and Drug Administration determined the new vaccines are safe and effective, and the Holy See, as well as the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, has concluded getting the COVID-19 vaccine is an act of love of our neighbor and part of our moral responsibility for the common good. We have lived with the pandemic for many months, and I know we're all getting tired of it. Vaccination is one of the most important ways you can protect your health and the lives of those you love and help bring the pandemic under control. When it is your turn, I urge you to be vaccinated. And remember to do your part by wearing a mask, washing your hands, and watching your distance. Thank you, and God bless you all.
To be the first you must see, to be a servant, to be a servant of all.
And we are back for part 2 of Diakonia, Call to Service. We're talking with Deacon Dan Coughlin about lay ecclesial movements. And Dave, you want to jump in with a question here?
Yeah, Dan, just to clarify, now these movements are throughout the universal church, not just the archdiocese, correct?
Yeah, exactly. It's a great question, Dave. And the some of the best known movements actually, I think, began in Europe, and it's really part of the universal or international church. So we certainly have some that are more active within the archdiocese, but if you look at the lay ecclesial movement, it's just part of the history of the church. It used to be part of the Pontifical Council of the laity, and now I believe under the Holy See, it's the Dicastery for Laity and Family Life, and it's under the direction of Cardinal Farrell, who I believe is out of Ireland, though I think he spent some time here in the U.S. So if you go on the Vatican website, there's actually 6 pages that list the various lay ecclesial movements worldwide, and some of them are, interesting. Couples for Christ movement began in the Philippines. The Holy Trinity community was founded in Indonesia. The secular mission for Carmelites was established in Colombia. Shalom Catholic community was created in Brazil. The Christian Life movement, I believe, was founded in Peru, and so goes the list.
So Dan, let me ask this question: What is your connection here in Chicago with the lay ecclesial movements? Why are we talking to you? Let me put it that way.
So Cardinal Supich has designated a liaison for the lay ecclesial movements that are active within the Archdiocese of Chicago, signifying how significant they are in terms of bringing their individual spiritualities and support of the church. And so I'm liaison to those different groups. If you look at the Archdiocese of Chicago website, there's a link there. I think there's, don't hold me to it, 22, 23 different lay ecclesial movements that have been not only recognized by the Universal Church, but are recognized by the Archdiocese because there's, feet on the street here, if you will, and they're active. And so prior to my appointment, which is just a couple of months old, so I'm relatively new to this position. It's a unique, different way that a deacon in the call to service can interact with the church and bring support and ministry to maybe in a unique way. I think my predecessor was now Bishop Jeffrey Grob, who is the bishop for Vicariate 1. And so it goes back a long way where the cardinal presiding has had a liaison to to support these different spiritual movements within the church.
And that gets us into this, coming back to the word ecclesial, and also your recitation of the worldwide dimension of a number of these groups. But these are not clubs that are entities unto themselves, and the Cardinal has a liaison, for any reason other than the fact that these are ecclesial movements. These are connected
to the church.
To the church, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why we call them ecclesial, and that's why they're part of the Church Universal, Chicago as well. Now, you made mention of the Archdiocese webpage, and I took a look at that recently. And if you on the homepage, in the search bar, if you enter lay ecclesial movements, you will ultimately get to your portion of the webpage. It's under offices and ministries. But you're right. There's 20 some ministries, movements listed there.
And just, Richard,
yeah.
just for context, there's probably on the Vatican page, there's probably over 150. I stopped counting after page 6.
Wow.
So
wow.
it's an international movement. It represents the Universal Church.
Now, what are some of these? Some of these names are familiar to us here
right.
in Chicago. Give me some examples of those.
Yeah. So I'll touch on one. For example, they come in all shapes and sizes and just various spiritualities, right? And so one right in my backyard, since I reside in Libertyville, is the Militia of Immaculata, which was started by St. Colby, right there. The shrine of Maximilian Kolbe is right here locally, and that was started back in 1917. And the members are called to evangelize and witness to the faith in the spirit of Maximilian Kolbe, and the shrine is right here, and so that's active in this area. Reginum Christi includes lay people, and there's a group here that are devoted to the Blessed Virgin Mary, characterized by their commitment to a celibate life and the like. And then there's the Worldwide Marriage Encounter. It's been around for a long time. I remember my parents, my mom's just about to be 90, so it was a long time ago, but I remember my parents going to a marriage encounter weekend to help strengthen their marriage. There's, of course, the Legion of Mary. Several of these have Marian devotions attached to them. The Legion of Mary that encourages Catholic faith through that particular devotion.
We've got Curcio. Curcio, yeah. Dave and I are both familiar with Curcio.
Yeah, I haven't done a Curcio weekend. That's a renewal retreat weekend.
Well,
When
we come back from our break, Dan, we're going to take you to task as to why you have not yet made your Curcio.
Because I'm a chirp guy. Christ renews his parish.
Sorry.
So very close to Curcio, but
we'll be back.
Okay.
Caring adults make all the difference in the lives of adolescents. Catholic Charities understands this, and our mentorship program provides a free opportunity for youth living in Lake County to spend time, virtually, with volunteers who genuinely care about them. This program is ideal for youths age 9 to 12 who may need support navigating the challenges of childhood and early adolescence, Our amazing volunteers serve as friends and role models who help youth recognize their strengths and empower them to reach their full potential. Catholic Charities conducts a thorough background check on every volunteer, and our program coordinator closely monitors and supports each relationship. Mentoring is a fun after-school program that is totally different from remote learning. Virtual group sessions help youth enjoy fun activities with their peers, too. We're connecting youth with great role models. Join us today. To learn more, call 312-937-3375. That's 312-937-3375.
We invite you to watch Catholic Chicago this weekend, featuring a conversation with Cardinal Blaise Cupich and video highlights from across the Archdiocese. Here's host Todd Williamson.
The effort to get vaccinated, why the Church is helping to spread the word. We'll go inside the classroom as a national study shows how Chicago's Catholic schools are keeping students on track during the pandemic. And too many people are going hungry. We'll visit a food pantry where Catholics are working to meet that need.
Watch Catholic Chicago Friday at 7 p.m. on Chicago Loop Cable, Channel 25, and Sunday afternoon at 3 on the Comcast Network, Channel 100.
Can you drink the cup that I must drink? Are you willing?
And we're back for the third and final segment of Diakonia Call to Service, talking to Deacon Dan Coughlin. With me in the studio is Deacon Dave Brentzick. And generally, we're talking about lay ecclesial movements. And just before the break, we were starting to take Deacon Dan to task for his failure, his abject failure in not attending Ecclesial. Dan, of course, I am pulling your leg. Chirp is a wonderful thing. Ecclesial is something I'm familiar with, and it's one of these lay ecclesial movements. I wanted to mention a couple more that are probably familiar to many of our listeners. One is the L'Arche community, working with people with cognitive disabilities. The Catholic Charismatic Renewal Center of Chicago, and we know that, Dave and I do, because they're on the second floor of our building, our office in Forest Park. There's the Renovación Carismática Católica Hispana, the Spanish language charismatic renewal. There's Communion and Liberation. There's I won't try it, but it's in Polish, the family branch of Light and Life movement. There is the Escuela de la Cruz and Focolare, and that's just a handful of them around there. And Dan, you said there were hundreds on the Vatican website.
Richard, for getting me out of the doghouse. It's like thanking people at the end of a banquet as soon as you leave someone out. So I wouldn't want to exclude anyone, and it's these all have their own charisms, the passion around bringing the good news to people and the people of our church. And thank you for mentioning a few others. I know our time is short, but there's just great engagement and involvement in a lot of these different charismatic or lay ecclesial movements, whether they be charismatic or otherwise. And so thank you for mentioning a few others.
Yeah.
So Dan, if I'm just a regular old Catholic, maybe I'm a lector or Eucharistic minister, why do I get involved with a lay ecclesial movement? Why would that be something I'd want to pursue?
So it's really where what the Lord is calling you to, and where the Spirit is at work in your life, and how you can help renew my church. That's obviously a front and center issue. We're going through this transition, and these are people that are truly helping us renew our church through spreading the Word of God in different ways through different spirituality. So I think if you're longing for something or not feeling engaged, even if you're involved in certain ministries, there could be a certain movement that draws you closer to the Lord. And I guess I'd answer that by saying I'm always inspired as I learn more and more about these different movements, and I sort of get up to speed with the coordinating committee and trying to encourage them. I go back to Paul's letter from Corinthians, and I think if you look at chapter 12, his beautiful discourse about unity and variety, and there's different types of spiritual gifts, but the same Spirit, and different service to the Lord, but different workings of God, but who produces everything in all of us. And so it's just, that scripture passage about the hand and the foot and the eye doesn't say to the ear, I don't need you. And so I think that's what speaks to me scripturally about why I might get involved. If I'm just sitting in the pew, or even if I'm engaged in my parish, there might be something that sets me on fire, that renews my faith in the church, and gets me more engaged and involved. And so
we've got grace building on nature. So one of these just might attract me, that it says something to my soul, that I have this Marian devotion, or the family is dear to me. And so this is an opportunity with some measure of structure. I don't want to say by any stretch that it's confining, but it's a previously trod path and a group of people we can associate with. So,
right,
Dan, we've got the bumper music at the end. I want to thank you. And all this information is on the Archdiocese website as well as the Vatican. So, Deacon Dan Coughlin, thank you so much. And we look forward to hearing more good news about the lay ecclesial movements in the Archdiocese and around the world. God bless you, Dan. God bless you, David, and to all of our listeners.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. God bless.
God bless.
For to sit at my right hand or at my left is not for me,